Hello everybody, welcome back to the Inspiration Station. My name is Debbie, and in today's video I'm going to be using a cut file that I created based on a sketch that Allison Davis had made. She created an adorable layout using punched hearts as the background, and rather than punch out all those hearts and glue them down, I thought it would be easier to create a cut file and then back it with the strips of paper. But then I decided I wanted to inlay those hearts rather than back the file. So I laid my paper out onto the mat in 2-inch sections and got those lovely strips of hearts. And I glued my original cut file to the background paper. It's just a white sheet of paper. It was actually one that I planned on not using anywhere else. It was, I don't remember, it was very thin or something. But anyway, I decided I wanted to do a diagonal pattern with the hearts going in rainbow order. So I started to lay them out, and it was really hard to see that pattern until I got almost to the end. So I kept playing with it and thinking, yeah, this is how I want to do it. But after a while, it just started to look very busy to me. So I decided to change it up, and you'll see in the end that I ended up putting the hearts in the lines the same way that I cut them out, so all the red at the top and going down in rainbow order. But I also wanted to create some thicker hearts that I was going to have so that they popped up from that inlay. By doing that, I just took all the white hearts that fell out of the original cut file, and I stacked 3 together on each one of them and glued them together. One of the things that I found was that they weren't perfectly symmetrical, so if I didn't have them right side up, they didn't match up very well. And I didn't notice that until I went to put the colored paper hearts on top. And I put them down, and there was way too much space on one side, so they're not perfect hearts. They're not perfectly symmetrical. So I did ink the edges to try and keep that white from showing. And here's where you'll see I had to keep flipping the heart around, trying to line it up as best as I could. But anyway, I made one for each color and inked them up. Once I got all of those hearts put together, I decided to map the layout on this yellow paper, and you can see this is where I had changed the layout so that it, instead of the hearts going diagonally in a pattern, I had them back lined up so that the red was at the top, and then each color in rainbow order followed down in a row. I think that made it a little bit more easy on the eyes, let's say. So I'm going to stick this down to the frame that I created, and I'm using some double stick tape. And I did have a little trick here that I learned a long time ago, that when you use double stick tape, a lot of times when you try to lay it down, it doesn't lay exactly where you want it. And if you have exposed all the adhesive and put it down, then sometimes it sticks where you don't want it, and it's really hard to pull it back up. So if you just pull a little bit of the backing off each of the strips and bend it out of the way, you can lay it down, center it, play around with it, get it where it needs to go, and then just stick down the parts that are exposed, and then pull those little tails, and it'll stick down, and you don't have to worry about it moving. So everything is stuck where you want it. So that's ready to go. And then I took my photo, and I had a white border printed on the photo, but I wanted to mat it because I didn't think it really pulled it away from the background enough. And I thought about using the red, but I think there was just so much color on the background and in the photo that it was just too much. So I decided to go with black. I think the black, the contrast with the white background and all of the rainbow colors, it really helps it stand out. So I'm going to stick that down and trim it up. If you have the tonic trimmer, you can line your edge up with the guard there, the finger guard that you push down on, and you'll get a perfect 1/8 inch cut from that if you just line it up that way. So that's pretty much how I mat everything. I just line it up with that finger guard, and you get a nice even border. So I pulled out a lot of my embellishments. I had some things from Hip Kit Club. I have those words there from Paige Evans. Anything that had those rainbow colors on it, I was sort of pulling out and playing with. But I decided that this boy birthday line, I don't remember exactly what it was called, it's from Doodlebug from many years ago, The colors were absolutely perfect. So I'm going to move the photo over a little bit to the left so that I can get that word birthday on without it going too close to the right edge. And we'll stick that down, and you'll see those hearts that I created are up at the top. I'm going to get those down. I wanted to put those on to give some extra texture. So I want, they're popped up a little bit. They're thick like chipboard. And I didn't want any of them to be in the same column. I didn't want them to be lined up at all. So I was trying to scatter them across the page. So once I get this word happy down, I'm going to start with the hearts and gluing them down. Now this was a little tricky for me because I'm using a new glue. I'm using this new Artiste glue from scrapbook.com, which I really love, but it's very different than the art glitter glue that I'm used to. Art glitter glue dries so fast, like you put something down and it's down, you're not moving it. This glue gives you some playtime. And so when I was laying them down, they were shifting a little bit. So that's why I'm using that acrylic block there to hold them in place, to kind of let them set. But you'll see the advantage to that is at one point I realized I had two hearts in the same column and I didn't want that. So it hadn't dried so hard that I couldn't pull it up, and I was able to lift it up and actually wipe the glue off and move it to the next column. So that was a nice feature of that. Then I decided that I wanted to add to the title, and I'm going to make it Happy Birthday Little One. I have these gold foil letters that were from American Crafts, and I'm going to line those up on my alignment tool. That's from We Are Makers. I've had that for many years, and I love it because it's got all those little lines. I think they're either an eighth or a quarter of an inch apart. So you can decide how, if you have really tall letters, you can move them down. But you line them up on that. You can see where they're going to go, so you get the spacing right. And then you just press the top part down and pull the ruler off the bottom. Now these were especially sticky letters, so I did have to use that little spatula to lift them off the plastic. But they're down and they're all lined up. And then I decided I wanted to add a little more detail. So I took out my small Marvy heart punch and punched out more of the scrap paper that I had from doing those hearts. And I'm going to line those up or just set them down on sort of coordinating colors. So I took like the red and the coral and I swapped them, orange and yellow, and swapped them, the two greens, etc. So they have a little more detail. And let's see, we have some foam here. I decided to pop those up on foam so that they had a little more dimension. And you'll see that I do have some enamel hearts over to the side. I think those are from Doodlebug. They could be waffle flower, but I'm almost positive they're Doodlebug. I love those things, and I think I bought 3 or 4 packages of them. I use them all the time. And I'm going to add those on around the title once I get all of the small punched hearts laid out. Those will be my finishing touches. While I'm doing that, I would like to ask you to support my channel by giving me a thumbs up, maybe leaving me a comment, letting me know what you think of the video and what other content you would like to see me create. All of those actions help YouTube direct my channel to other people who have the same interests, so that helps to grow my channel. Also, if you have not subscribed yet, please do. I appreciate that. And all of you who are subscribers, thank you so much. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. To finish up the page, I'm going to add my enamel hearts. I will put a little cluster of 3 next to the word happy. Then I'm going to come down to the words little one, and I'll put a couple down there, and that's going to finish the page. At the end, you'll see some still shots. I'll have the completed layout and a close-up of the title area so you can see the dimension that those hearts added to the page. And that will do it for today. So thanks again for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.